I'm about that action. I ain't about all that talking. So, I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. So when I say I'm gonna you up, I mean it. And if you don't think that I'm telling the truth, then show me.
What's good, fam? Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, fam. Hey, listen, man, what's up with Kell Brook, man? Kell Brook, he has been in the media lately, because he got a fight coming up. He got a fight against Mark DeLuca coming up in February. Kell Brook sat out the entire 2019. But Kell Brook recently did an interview with Boxing Scene, and he talked about that. He said he had no intentions of sitting out the whole 2019. He talked about how he tried to make the fight with Terrence Crawford. He talked about, how he came over to the U.S., the Madison Square Garden. I actually did a video on that to watch Terrence Crawford fight and to challenge Terrence Crawford, man. And he said the two teams were in heavy negotiations, but nothing, came to fruition. And, he just got disgusted with it all, man, and sat on the bench, man. He said, he took his family to Disneyland and, they did some traveling, man, until he got bored. You know what I'm saying? He said he got bored, and now, he wants to get back in the gym. He said he's been boxing for 15 years. He got enough money to retire if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So he said he's not hurting for money. He wants to come back for the passion, for the love of the sport. Now, is Kell Brook just blowing smoke? Because we heard this from him before. You know what I'm saying? He was making a move to 154. He was calling out Jared Hurd. He was calling out Charlo. He was calling out all the champions at 154. After he blew out Rabchenko. And then, he fought Zafar and he went silent. You know what I'm saying? He went silent. The fight with Zafar was a little tougher than he expected, I believe. You know what I mean? And maybe he has some self-doubt. I know Eddie Hearn talked about how, Kell gets depressed and he blows up in weight. You know what I mean? But is Kell Brook really ready to come back and make a statement? Now, he also said some interesting things in this interview. I will put the link in the description so you guys can check it out. But he talked about, taking a loss to Triple G and to Earl Spence. He says he really don't count them as losses. He said he was not outclassed by either guy. He said the fights between those two ended because of very bad injuries to his eyes. He says, if it wasn't for the eye, he was in both of those fights. And, he's got a point there. He definitely had moments in the Gennady Golovkin fight. He had some eye-catching shots. And I believe that the fight between himself and Triple G is the fight that made other fighters not afraid to fight Gennady Golovkin. That opened the floodgates, and after Kell Brook fight him, everybody wanted to fight him because they seen the chinks in his armor, and that was all caused by Kell, the special one, Brook. And in fight with Earl Spence, man, you got to admit that, the first half of that fight was close. They were going tick for tack, man, and Earl Spence eventually broke him down. Kell Brook says it was because of the eye. I remember he came to the States, and there's video of him approaching Earl Spence, telling him that he wanted the rematch. He has said it, in multiple interviews that he believes that he can beat Earl Spence. He really believes it, and I believe that he believes it. So is this next run by Kell Brook legit, or is it just a cash grab, but he says he got enough money to retire. Like, he don't need the money, man. But he says if he loses to Mark DeLuca, he will retire, because if he can't beat Mark DeLuca, then he for sure cannot beat none of the champions. You know what I mean? Julian Williams, Jamal Charlo, the top upper echelon at 154, man. But I always liked Kell Brook, man. I thought Kell Brook was a solid fighter. There was a time when he was champion that nobody really wanted to fight Kell Brook. The consensus was he was the best welterweight at the time. Many people ducked him. Many people didn't fight him. Sean Porter eventually fought him, and he took Sean Porter's title. Came over to the States in hostile territory and did it. And I always thought that Kell Brook, a lot of people get on Kell Brook. They get on him, saying he quit against Earl, he quit against Gennady Golovkin, and that may be the case. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta think, man. You got a broken bone in your face and somebody keeps punching on that broken bone. That's got to be very painful. Not condoning him quitting, you know what I'm saying, but you got to understand, man, the guy did not want to lose his eye, you know what I mean, and you gotta factor that in, you know what I'm saying. You got to factor that in, man. Kell Brook's a solid fighter, you know what I'm saying. The only question is, does he have it inside? Is his heart really in it? Is his mind really in it? And that's the only thing that's questionable. He no doubt has the skills to pay the bills, but if you don't have the heart, if you don't have the determination, then what are we doing? You're wasting your time. But we'll see, man. I would love to see Kell Brook come back on a comeback trail. This is his last opportunity. I believe he's 32, 33 years old. You know what I'm saying? So the clock is ticking. But he could have a couple more good years left in the sport of boxing if he's 100% committed. But we'll see, man. He got this fight coming up in February. He's back with his longtime trainer, Dominic Engel. And he's looking good. He's looking sharp. He's looking in shape. He's fighting at 154, so he won't have to drain himself down to 147. Now, Kell is stating that he can fight at 147 or 154. I do believe that 147 may be a little bit going too far, man. I don't want to see him, try to suck back down to 147, man. But 154, I'm looking to see, if he can make a splash, if he can, in fact, get back in the, the upper echelon of 154. I would love to see him mix it up with the likes of Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo, Julian Williams, Jared Hurd. Jared Hurd wanted that fight for a while, man. I remember when they was talking about it. I did a video about it at the time. I was in the mindset that Kell Brook would destroy Jared Hurd. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset at the time. You know what I mean? So we'll see what's up with Kell Brook. We'll see if he can, in fact, make a splash back on the 154 pound scene. We'll see in February, man. But listen, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Catch me on Twitter, Instagram at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word, or you can catch me right here on YouTube. Don't forget, I got that merch over there on BigFacesWorldwide.com. You can also leave donations over there. You have access to my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all from that website, man. But in the meantime and in between time, stay blessed and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing. Peace. Holla back.
A down ass nigga, a down ass hood, a down ass click down to serve a nigga good. A down ass nigga, a down ass hood, a down ass click down to serve a nigga good.